What's the word, YouTube? It's your boy Big Will. I'm back. It's your boy Big Will. I'm back with another episode of Life After Prison. Yo, let's run this shit. What's the word, fam? You know who it is. That Life After Prison, fam. One for all and all for one. Yo, it's a little story about, back in 2009. Beginning of 2009. It was like the end of 2008. I was at the end of a 2-year bid, and I was there for a while, you know, and you always hear about people saying, oh, you know, like, I know there was a friend of mine, actually the guard was a friend of mine too, but it was a female officer, and she got caught having a relationship with a man, right? So what happened is they got suspicious because when she would do her account, she would stop by this inmate cell, and they're not supposed to go inside, you know what I'm saying? And if they're gonna go inside, they're like 30 seconds, you know, especially if there's inmates inside the cell. They're like 30 seconds. They're to come back out and be on camera. A minute, you know what I'm saying? Something quick, a minute. But anything longer than that, they don't know if the CO's been attacked. You know what I'm saying? With a female working in a men's unit or a man's jail, they don't know if the female's being raped. They don't know if there's a problem. They don't know if inmates whatever, right? They don't know if they're having sex. They have no idea. So there's cameras on the tier and in the corners and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And they'll face, you know, when there's 2 tiers of cells, the cameras are on the other side and back of them. And usually you can see the cells, but there are some cells that are blind, you know what I'm saying? Like the cameras can't see directly inside. So this officer, she got caught having sex. She didn't actually get caught in the process of her having sex, them having sex together. But when I guess they had seen, like it was a routine, her going by and stopping at this guy's cell and going inside and not coming out for 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So Central seen it one night, and I guess they were calling her on the radio, and what had happened was her partner was out at, I guess he was on his lunch break or whatever. So she was the only one in the unit, and that's what they'll do. Is like you know, when you got 2 guards on, when one goes for his lunch break, the other one will come around. If you got a dirty guard, you know, or someone who brings in shit, or if you got a female officer that flirts, or you know, if she's getting it in with another inmate, they'll usually wait until their partner's not there on lunch or things like that. But that's usually when everybody's locked down, right? So when the same person's cell is getting popped all the time and this CO is going inside, Central's getting suspicious. You know what I mean? So they had called the partner. And they're like, we're trying to get in touch with. I'm not gonna put her out there. She's from my area. She may see the videos. But we're gonna call her Dawn. Okay? Her name starts with an S, really. So if she does see it, she knows who I'm talking about, right? But anyways, let's just call her Dawn. And she would go inside and mess with this guy. Well, they were calling her, and what she would do is, she was in the middle of it. She didn't hear them on the radio calling her. So they were calling her, Dawn, this is Central. Dawn, this is Central. They called the partner. This is, we're trying, and we seen Dawn go into cell 6. I don't remember the cell that the kid was in, that she was getting in with. I don't remember who the kid was. I didn't know him that she was messing with. But I knew her, right? And but I knew her from the streets. I didn't know her as a CO. I knew her before she was a CO. I knew her from the streets. I went to high school and shit with her. I know her whole family. So they were calling, and she wasn't answering. They call the partner. The partner's, I'm on lunch. So now they come rushing into the unit to see if there's something wrong, because she's in this cell now. Central can see her go into the cell, not come on, she's not answering the radio. She didn't press the panic button or nothing, so they didn't know if she was being held. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't know what the hell was going on, so they came rushing in. Well, the thing was that when she was inside the cell, getting her business or something, she must have been at the point where they were already done, or it was just a quickie, because when they came in, when you open up the doors, it's all metal and shit, so you can hear and you can hear keys rushing. So she did, and she was trying to hurry up, fix herself. And when she was coming in, when they got to the cell, she was there just fixing her pants. She looked all disheveled. There was no. She didn't. It's not like she was raped. Not like she was held against her will. She didn't press the panic button. She didn't call for help. So there was nothing she can say except for, I'm busted, right? So the inmate goes to the hole, under investigation. She goes under investigation. And they come to find out, they went back and they were listening to his past phone calls and shit like that under their investigation. They had found out that he was calling her. They came to find out that she was sending him mail through somebody else's name. When there was an investigation going on, like, they intercepted some of the mail, because now she was off. They suspended her pending investigation and stuff. But she was still writing him. What you gonna say? She was writing the guy next door to her to get a letter over to him. They ended up getting caught, and she ended up getting caught, finally admitting that, yes, she had sex with the guy. And it had been going on for a while. And that's the problem. There are these women, right? So when guys go to jail, we're still human beings. You know what I'm saying? And when a guy goes to jail, there are a lot of guys that go in strung out, or, not so fit or whatever. And a lot of guys, when they get there, they turn to working out and stuff, right? So when these guards, nurses, that was what was the story I meant to tell you about, was how I pulled a nurse. Now, I didn't sleep with her. I never slept with her. But, she would bring me food. I have high blood pressure, right? So when I was I would call the CO on in my unit, and I would say, listen, I need a med slip. I need a med call. And if you don't put in, usually they want you to put in a slip like that morning or the day before. Like, if you got a toothache, if you have pains in your chest, shit like that, pains in your chest, they'll send you down. So a lot of guys, if they're trying to pull a move or something, they'll say, I got chest pains and stuff. So that means that the nurse is going to come. They'll either send you down to medical, or a nurse will come to the unit and bring you shit. Now, a lot of times the nurse comes to the unit anyways to pass out meds, right? So, sometimes when you're saying, I need a med call and stuff, they'll tell you, when the nurse comes tonight. So you go up and you see the nurse, I got a problem. They won't see you. They'll tell you, put in a med slip. Now, it takes a day or two for them to look at it. The doctor's going to sign it. Then they come see you. You'll go to go to the bubble for a med slip, and you got to put it in the box. And then once she comes, like say she comes on a Monday, she'll come in and give everybody their meds. When she's leaving, she'll empty the med box for medical. You know, they got different mailboxes. One's for mail. There's one that goes in for medical. There's one that goes in if you want to tell on people, in-house mail. If you need legal mail, you know, shit like that. If you want to go to a law library, they got one that's just for books. If you want to go to a library, have the librarian come in and bring you some books. You know what I'm saying? So I had pulled a nurse that was, I don't want to say her name either. And it was crazy because I had just seen her probably about 3 weeks ago. And she looked different, you know what I'm saying? She had gained some weight. And she was like, "Is your last name Dupras?" And I'm looking at her like, "Yeah, I know you, right?" And she's like, "Dartmouth, nurse." And she told me her name, and I'm like, "Oh, shit, how you been? Wow, you changed." "Yeah, I got married, I had a couple of kids." And I'm like, "Oh, shit, good for you, da-da-da." But it was just a thing. So she would bring me in, give me something to eat. She would bring me food. You know, I'd go down and say I need to go down and see the nurse, and I'd be in her room to take my blood pressure. I got high blood pressure. I got to have my blood pressure checked. She would make a slip. "I'll come down for 3 days and have your blood pressure checked." So every night at 8 o'clock, I would go down to the nurse's, like the infirmary, and have my blood pressure checked. She would come to the unit and pass out meds and say, "Oh, I forgot my blood pressure cuff, da-da-da." And when she leaves, she'd call the CO, send Dupras down to medical. So I would go down there and, you know, she'd give me something to eat, or I didn't smoke, but there was a lot of guys in the block that did. So, you know, she would bring me cigarettes and I would make money off it and shit, you know. But this other CO who I was talking to, Dawn, she got caught having sex, right? So I bring it up because someone had asked me, "Hey, is it often? Does it happen all the time?" And I tell people, yes, it happens all the time. Like I said, we're human beings, you know. And when guys are in there, they start working out. They look healthy. You look healthy as fuck. You eat good. You get healthy. Your skin gets good. You get a glow about you. You know what I'm saying? And you're not on drugs. You're not out on the street. They get all if you're on psych meds, everything gets stabilized. You know what I mean? So you look healthy and good. You know what I'm saying? So when you're walking around a jail cell and you're all jacked, and nurses are looking and saying, "Wow, look at him. He's fucking hot," right? We're human beings. Just because we're inmates don't mean that our looks change. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean that we look like a piece of shit. They just don't know your backstory until they get they'll be in for medical. And I say, "What are you here for?" And you got to tell them. They find out you're a rapist and shit like that, then all bets are off. But I'm here for drugs. "Oh shit, how you feeling? How's things going?" "Yeah, I've been here a couple of years. It all changes." So, but they're people, right? And some of these nurses, like they're addicts and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? They're single and they still got their own lives at home where they have trouble. You know what I'm saying? They'll go home to their husband. So, it was actually 2 nurses that I was talking to. But only one would bring me shit. The other one I used to just flirt with like a bastard, right? And like it was all playful flirting that we did. But she didn't give me no play, not like the other one did. The other one wasn't as cute. She was, but she was my foot in. You know what I'm saying? You come up and have her, check your blood pressure and shit, and she's rubbing her breast on you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stand close when she's walking by you and you just rub up against her. You know what I'm saying? Things like that when you're in jail, it goes a long fucking way, right? When you're there for a couple of years, a female rubbing up against you goes a long way. And it sounds sick and perverted, but we're men, right? We're men, we're sexual beings, and it's a woman. Shit that we don't see. Some guys don't get visits, they don't have a wife or a girl to come by and shit, you know what I'm saying? And some guys get a note from their girl, and the girl will write you a dirty note, and you get a letter from a nurse. I mean, then you talk to a nurse, and she rubs up on you and shit, or she's checking your blood pressure, and you're rubbing up against her breast and shit. It's all It's all like, damn, man, your imagination, right? So when you're in there, your imagination goes wild. You know, you think of things, look at that fucking piece of meat walking by. You get primal instincts, right? And so, like, it does happen, right? And somebody had told me about, oh, I seen this video. And so they told me, and I went and looked at it. And I think his name Bill Feasy. He's on here. Shout out to him. And he was telling me about a story how he paid for it, right? Paid $1,500, and he had his time with the girl, a couple of minutes. That part of his story, I told him, yeah, well, it's possible, right? Yeah, you could have gotten with the girl, but the way that he was telling the story, like one of the inmates had this CO, and he was pimping her out in jail, and it was $1,000 for you to get in line and hit her, or $1,500 for you to have it by yourself, right? And they would say, oh, like when they call for chow, stay back, and everybody would stay back, and you see a bunch of guys over in the corner line up, and they're all waiting to run in the cell one at a time and sleep with this god. So the way he said it, the way he told the story was, you know, they had a broom and they ended up putting some Vaseline on the camera so you couldn't see. And again, all of that is possible if it's one time, okay? What I was saying about my story is they saw this girl going in all the time, in my case. They saw this girl going in all the time. They got suspicious she was going to the same cell all the time. The way he told his story, she's going in a certain cell that's down, they're blocking the cameras out, and you got a bunch of guys that are, you know, congregating over there, and then one comes out and another one goes in. One comes out and another one goes in. First of all, they're not going to have a god be in there for 15, 20 minutes while 5 or 6 guys go in and get their nut off. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it may happen once. But this ain't going to be a regular thing. So I told him, you know, hey, his story was kind of hard to believe for me. You know what I'm saying? Being a person that has been in, I know how it works. This camera gets blurred. When Central sees it, they're going to see, well, the camera's blurred. Okay. So now, this is on a daily routine. Certain times, the camera keeps getting blurred. Not going to happen. Certain times, this CO was taken off and she was sleeping with these guys. I found it hard to believe. Did it happen? I don't know. I really can't say. Do I think it happened? Like I said, maybe once. Do I think it was a regular occurrence? Because then he goes into a story how, you know, she left one inmate and started messing with another inmate, and he was trying to pimp her out, and da-da-da, and, you know, it just kept going. You know, the story just didn't sound believable to me, you know, and I told him, no, hey, listen, man, no hate. If it did happen, hey, good for you guys, you know what I'm saying? But do I think that it was a regular occurrence like that? No. Because, like I said, even if they're blobbing the camera out with Vaseline, Tuesday when it happens and the camera's blobbed out again, they get suspicious. When that camera's blobbed out, they got other cameras all around the unit, right, that are seeing what's going on. And if that one's blobbed out and these guys are seeing that there's on this camera over here, they're watching and seeing a bunch of guys congregating in a corner waiting to go in and hit the girl, it's not going to happen, you know? And if it did, when she goes in on this camera sees her, goes in, or they're looking in the unit with other cameras, whoa, this one's blobbed out. When Central's looking at it, this one's blobbed out. What's going on in this unit? They're looking around. They don't see the CO. She's nowhere to be found for 15, 20 minutes. Why a bunch of guys are running the train one at a time for $1,000 a hit. I find it hard to believe. You make the decision. What do you think? You think it really happened? Like I said, maybe once. But a regular occurrence? Nah, I don't think so. But I don't know. You let me know what you think. guards do have sex with inmates. They come up pregnant all the time or shit like that. Guys in jail will catch shit diseases. You gotta go see the doctor with a sexually transmitted disease. How you get it? Either you're sleeping with your cellmate or you're sleeping with a guard or a nurse or something. You know what I mean? And you might get a quickie off with a guard or a nurse, you know. And don't get me wrong, we're guys. We've been in prison, right? We're in there for a year or 2 or 5 or 10. We're not sitting down and having an hour-long session. We're a little two-pump chump and we're done. You know what I mean? She's asking, is it in yet? And you're already saying, what? I'm already in the shower cleaning up. You know what I mean? I'm ready to lay down. But, Bill, Feezy, hey. I follow your shit, love you, guy, but I don't know. You let me know. No hate if it happened to happen. If it didn't, I don't know. Let's keep this shit real. It's your boy, Big Will. I'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. If you've been in that situation, you've been in prison, you know somebody that's been through it. If you've heard about it, you know. Let me know what you think. What was your story? What have you heard? And like always, I'll catch you on the next one. But, you guys out there, if you don't want to worry about sleeping with a guard, and have to worry about not getting your nut off, stay out of prison. Do the right thing. Have sex with your wife every night. You don't have to worry about that. Because when you get caught sleeping with a guard, you're going to get a charge. She's going to get charged. You're going to get charged. You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Not when they make fifis for 6 soups. And a fifi is a rubber glove blown up, but they make them shits like, you swear to God you're sleeping with a woman. When they end up putting the hot water and oh my God, hot water, and they put some Vaseline in there and lube it up for you, you swear it's a woman. You know? And they prop them up right on their beds, put it with their towel, prop it up with their sheets and stuff, and guys go have their, it's like having a blow-up doll. Excuse me. I went to a big cookout today, and my voice don't feel straight sense. Not to mention, I was just in New York for 2 days with my daughter, and she went to a concert, and we were out there having a good time. My voice hasn't been the same since. But, again, it's your boy Big Will. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Life after prison. Shit really happens. I've been there. I did it. Ain't nothing to brag about, but it is something to talk about. Keeps me out. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.